I want to talk about a few things, just points of order. First thing is, I want to say thank you to everybody who came here. You should congratulate yourself. This is what it's about, at being a part of our government, and thank you for being here. Also, I'm pretty pleased to see that there was an article in the Boston Globe that says that Newbury is the best place to be in the North Shore. I think we all already knew that, didn't we? The other thing is, and I think this is important, and this goes with any meeting that I'm attending or moderating, and that is everybody should be respectful of each other. We all may have different opinions, but let's remember that everybody who's here has the best interests of the town at heart. We may disagree, which is fine, we should. That's what America's about. But we should be respectful of each other. Thank you. Now also, I would ask that, I want to hear every position, by the way. There's no question about that. I want to hear every position. But I think if you have heard the position stated clearly the way you believe it's right, we don't need to hear it again. So if you think you're going to add something that's more important, that's fine. But let's try to streamline it, and let's try to be out of here in 3 hours. Does that sound good? Okay. All right, let's start. We met a quorum. Have we, somebody? Yes, okay, so we have a quorum. JR?
Please join me in a pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you.
Thank you. We're going to do some introductions here. All the fine men and women that are up here on the dais, as well as some visitors that are out here who've been kind enough to come. Start with the Board of Selectmen. Chairman J.R. Colby, Vice Chair Alicia Greco, Clerk Jeff Walker, Michael Doyle, and Geraldine Heavey. Finance Committee. Jesperson, Vice Chair Linda Allen, Joseph Ali, Jean Case, Tom Howard, Erica Jacobson, and Kavi Yasser, who is not here. He's trying to get back from vacation, but we're not sure he's going to make it. I also want to talk about the people that are here who are Lisa Mead to my right, clearly my right-hand woman. Tracy Blaze, Town Administrator. Eileen DeVoe, Town Accountant. John Lucy, Police Chief. Ethan Cohen, PEG Production Specialist. Matthew Cooper, Cindy Currier, COA Director, and Brian Forget, Superintendent at Triton.
So you need to get permission for us to speak.
I'm sorry?
We need to take a vote to get permission to speak.
For the, yeah.
Yeah.
I need to have a vote, I need a motion to let the people who are not town residents to speak.
So moved.
And a second?
Second.
Discussion or debate? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. We're going to waive the reading, as we've done in the past, of the warrants, and we're going to have each article summarized instead. Turning Technologies presentation on use of voting devices. Do you want to go through the procedure for us? This is Jessica from Turning Technologies.
Thank you, Mr. Moderator. Okay. Hello, good evening. I'm these devices from having used them in the past, but I'm going to go ahead and go through just a quick demonstration. Going to work. So, as you see in your baggie, you have a response card, RFLCD. This is the keypad with the answer options. You will primarily be using answer options 1A and 2B. Here is the window where you can see your choice. And here is the indicator light to let you know that your vote has been submitted. What you're going to see on the screen when we do a vote is in the upper right-hand corner. You're going to see the total number of responses displayed on the screen. You're going to see some brief summary of the article. You're going to see 1 yes, 2 no, which are your answer options. And we're going to give you a final 10-second count to get your vote in. Okay. Just a couple of other voting points. Voting is open as soon as you see the slide displayed. You will be given a visual cue for the last 10 seconds of voting as displayed on the countdown timer. Once the timer counts down, you can no longer vote for that item. So once the counter reaches 0, voting is closed for that item. If you should happen to make a mistake and wish to change your vote, you can do that until the timer counts down to 0. You simply have to touch the other key. So if you selected 1 and you actually meant to select 2, you'll just press 2. Your vote will be recorded as 2. So let's go ahead and give these a quick try. Our first question is open. And the question before you tonight is a wonderful night for a town meeting. Press 1 for yes. Press 2 for no now, please.
So you don't need to.
I'm going to go ahead and start the countdown timer to give you 10 more seconds to get your final vote in. And our results are 103 of you feel that this is great weather and a good night for a town meeting, and 26 of you would prefer perhaps a different night. Are there any questions that I can address for you before I hand it back over to Mr. Moderator?
Everybody's okay with it? All right.
Thank you very much.
Article 1 is to meet in our respective voting districts on Tuesday, May 11th, 2021. The polls will open at 7 a.m. and they'll close at 8 p.m. to vote on the following offices. Precinct 1, Firefighters Memorial Hall. Precinct 2 is Newbury Town Hall. Article 2, to receive, I'm sorry?
The library.
What did I say?
Town hall.
Ha, I'm sorry. Newbury Town Hall.
To the library.
Newbury Library. I'm stuck in the town hall. Okay. Article 2, to receive the reports of the Select Board, School Committee, regular and special committees, and all other town officers, or take any other action in relation thereto.
I move that the town vote to accept the reports of the town officers, boards, and committees as printed in the 2020 town report without ratification or authorization of any action.
Second.
Discussion or debate? Hearing none? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
You're going to use the tabs.
Huh?
I think you're
Should
gonna
we
use-
use them? Did you put it up?
Yeah.
Oh, yes, I'm sorry.
So the voting will hold.
Article 2. Article 2.
Article 2?
Thank you.
I think you need to say the voting opens.
The voting is open. 1 is a yes, 2 is a no. Start the countdown. You have 10 seconds. Passed, thank you. Article 3, to see if the town will fix the salaries and compensation of certain elective officers of the town as follows. I think I want to address the moderator's salary. Way too low. You start with that?
I move that the town vote fix the salaries and compensation of the elective officers as listed in Article 3.
Motion? Or excuse me,
Second.
second? Okay, let's vote.
It's done. It's done.
All set. That one passes easily also, 114 to 20. Thank you. Article 4, see if the town will vote to change the date of the celebration of Halloween, including the practice of trick-or-treat, from the 31st of October to the first Saturday after the 31st of October, unless the 31st of October falls on a Saturday, in which case the celebration will be held on the 31st of October in that year. Marshall? Yes, please.
Good evening. I'm the author of this recommendation, this article, and let me talk to it just a little bit, because Halloween, and especially trick-or-treat, is a great children's holiday, I believe, and holding it on a weekend has a lot of positive attributes, not the least of which is the children don't have to go to school the next day with a sugar high. And I've spoken to several teachers who have said the day after Halloween is a very tough day in their classes. So it normalizes that. It also, this would make it that this always falls on the day when you get an extra hour's sleep. So between Halloween and the recovery from Halloween, you get 1 extra hour. Now, it may be, and people have said, well, what about traffic? Halloween falls on a weekend about 1/3 of the time. It's Friday, Saturday, or Sunday. And yet we have never seen a real increase in traffic or incidents because of this. We do have, and we are having, we have neighboring towns, and children from neighboring towns do trick-or-treat in Newbury. We know that very well. And Newbury kids trick-or-treat in other towns should the date be different. But I'm thinking that if this does make sense, and if it is good for the children and good for the schools, that other towns may look at our example and copy that and go forward with changes of their own. And so I would ask you to carefully consider this, and let's make Halloween and trick-or-treat a weekend holiday rather than a weekday holiday. Thank you very much.
1 second, I need a motion before we... I need a motion to this effect.
Second.
Somebody say so moved?
Yes.
Okay. Have a second? Okay. Discussion and debate. Mike?
Okay. I'm a very traditional person. I think it's a huge mistake to change Halloween. Kids have gone to school without going off the walls, okay? And the fact that if we do this holiday, what's next? Christmas? It's like celebrate the holiday and the day it falls. It means something then. So I am dead against this idea. Thank you.
Anyone else? Am I missing anybody? Okay. Let's vote. Ten seconds. Yeah, thank you.
Yes.
Does not pass.
Yes. One down.
Article 5, to see if the town will vote to amend the Town of Newbury general bylaws to require a 2/3 vote of town meeting members to adopt or amend all changes to Chapter 95 Wetlands bylaws. Sponsor is Bob Connors. Bob, you want to speak to this?
Yeah, Mr. Moderator, I'm up here. Dick, I'm back here. There we-
Okay.
Good evening, sir. Good evening. This spring, the Newbury Conservation Commission considered under Newbury's Home Rule Authority to propose bylaw amendments creating additional standards stricter than those outlined in the State Wetlands Protection Act, expanding current wetlands bylaw covering Plum Island to all upland areas of Old Town and Byfield, which currently is only subject to the Commonwealth's Wetland Protection Act. The town is currently reviewing and updating the master plan, which will further identify the remaining development within our town. Any proposed future changes to the wetlands bylaw may further restrict dwellings without known impacts. This proposal amendment simply requires any future change have overwhelming support from the community at town meeting, similar to zoning bylaws, bylaw changes which require a 2/3 vote by town meeting members. Thank you.
Need a motion?
Need a motion? And a second? Okay, any discussion or debate? Yes?
Evening, everybody. This microphone is much, much shorter than me.
Good reason. That one looks taller. This is just a little note here is that when you do speak, please take your mask off. Make it a little easier to hear. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. My name is Ben Gehagen. I'm the Vice Chair of the Conservation Commission, and I wanted to speak tonight a little bit on this on behalf of the Commission itself. So the first question we get asked a lot is, why are we doing this? And it's not really the point of this article, but I want to briefly talk about that. And the reason we're doing it is because anytime we have a conversation with somebody in Newbury, it seems like it invariably turns to how beautiful a place we're all so lucky to live in is. And so we wanted to do something to preserve that, to make sure that the wetlands, which are really the glue that holds together the natural landscape that we all like to enjoy so much, that we go out and recreate in. You know, everybody's probably enjoying spring peepers, woodcocks, listening to those the last couple of weeks. People who go out in the Great Marsh and dig clams, fish for striped bass. So that's why we wanted to do this, really put simply. Technically speaking, Mr. Connors is correct. The current bylaw does cover Plum Island, and everything else is as per the state Commonwealth bylaw. We're not proposing to extend what is currently written for Plum Island to the rest of the inland zone. What we're trying to do is come up with a couple simple things we can do to better protect some resources that we think are very important. Those include larger isolated wetlands, vernal pools, and the Great Marsh itself. And that's really the extent of what we've proposed in our draft bylaw. And we think it has some real advantages for people in town because as currently written, the state bylaw is very confusing and very vague. It makes it hard to interpret, and it makes it hard if you just want to come through and do something simple, like Mr. Connors at one point mentioned, a 10 by 10 porch. If you want to do a 10 by 10 porch and you're in a resource area, it can honestly be difficult right now to understand the process to do that. And we have people come in all the time to the commission and they file incomplete applications with information that we don't have the information we need. And it binds them up. It means they have to wait 2 or 3 months to complete an application that they should be able to come in, get, and go enjoy their property. We want to make it simpler for people to do that by having a clear bylaw and crafting clear regulations so everybody knows what to expect. I'll move on a little bit to the actual process. I just want everybody in this room to know that we followed the process of the way that you should do a bylaw amendment in town, which is we've had public meetings, they've been advertised. You can find them on YouTube now, and you can find a draft bylaw up there. We would have the bylaw itself up for vote, except that at a meeting, we had a number of concerned citizens come in, voice their issues with the bylaw as it was.
I'm sorry, but this isn't really directly related to the issue.
Actually, this is, I think, where it does become related, Mr. Moderator, if I can take 20 more seconds.
How many more?
The point is that we didn't bring it up because we were following the process in town. So I'm asking everybody tonight to vote no to this and come and interact, follow the process to pass a wetlands bylaw, any type of thing in town. Come interact with us. We are taking our time bringing an amendment to town so we can interact with our fellow residents, listen to you, and give you the best bylaw that's going to protect our town while allowing everybody to enjoy their homes, enjoy their properties, not have to jump through hoops. So that's what we're asking tonight, is to just have some consideration and interact with the process. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Moderator.
Thank you. Anyone else? Yes.
Moderator. Good evening, Bud Kelly, 24 School Street, Byfield. Also, full disclosure, Chairman of your Board of Assessors and proud to be on the board for about 20 years. I am in full support of Mr. Connors and his suggestion on this particular article. I feel like we have enough legislation to protect us. I feel that we do not need to add another layer. I also, in my role with this community, know that there are properties that are impacted in a negative way with a very unbalanced bylaw currently on the Parker River on the freshwater side that's preventing people from using their land legally according to what the state would allow, but our community already is more strict. So I would suggest very, very strongly that we all vote yes on this, which would allow for us to all have a vote and all have a voice.
Thank you. Okay, let's vote.
Sorry.
You have one
May I
speaker.
speak?
Already called the vote.
Yeah.
Okay. Hi, this is Lynn Williamson, 1 Southern Boulevard.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't see you.
I'm right here.
Okay.
Sorry. I support Bob Connor's motion for a 2/3 vote. If it is truly for the best interest of the entire community and not biased towards Plum Island or any other area of Newbury, then what would be the problem with getting a 2/3 vote and the majority of our community to back this proposition?
Thank you.
So I support the yes vote.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You have another speaker.
Another speaker? Okay.
Yes, thank you. Mary Rimmer, 57 Boston Road. I'm also a member of the Conservation Commission, and I would just urge you to vote no on this proposed article, simply because I think that the bylaw should stand on its own merits and that it's dangerous to go down the path of requiring a different configuration of voting for one particular amendment to one particular bylaw in town. That opens a door to any time folks aren't interested in having any particular bylaw in the town changed, to require a 2/3 vote is an onerous burden. So I urge you to vote no. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, Melissa Goldner, 19 Pearson Drive in Byfield. I also wanted to encourage everybody to vote no on this article. As we can see by looking around the room, it's incredibly challenging for those of us who are young parents to get to town meeting. And oftentimes we are the ones that are looking for some of these protections and can participate in the smaller meetings like the Conservation Commission, especially this year that it's been on Zoom. It's been fabulous to be able to participate in that way. My husband and I had to choose who was coming tonight because we have the kids at home. COVID actually makes it even more challenging for people to come here, and I don't think that this turnout is representative of our community as a whole. And so by making it more restrictive in terms of getting a majority to pass a new bylaw, I feel like it's a bit discriminatory towards those who can make these, against those who can't make these meetings and in favor of those who can. So I would ask that you vote no on this so that we can pass these bylaws by a simple majority. Thank you.
Thank you.
Steve Fram, 21 Forest Street. Our bylaw is already not fair to all the citizens of the town. People in Byfield need a 300-foot setback from the Parker River. The state dictates 100-foot, so the rest of the town is 100-foot. Let's vote yes for this and get that corrected.
Thank you. I think we've covered it. Let's vote. Noes carry.
Yes.
Just one thing before we go on. Last year, Senator Bruce Tarr was here, and I didn't see him here. I avoided him. I didn't avoid him, I just didn't recognize him. This year, Lenny Mira is here, and I missed him too. He's our state rep, and we're glad to have him here. Thank you, Lenny. Now we can talk about the money. Article 6, to see if the town will vote to raise and appropriate, transfer from available funds, or otherwise provide to meet the salaries and wages of town officers and employees, expenses and outlays of the town departments, and other sundry and miscellaneous but regular expenditures necessary for the operation of the town for fiscal year 2022. Ask FinCom Chair, Mr. Jesperson, please.
Okay, we have to change a slide here. Oh, let's go back one. Thank you. Okay. Well, thank you for attending our annual town meeting tonight. As you may know, the Finance Committee is responsible directly to the town meeting. And as such, we oversee the financial transactions and policies of the town and report to you, our constituents. You will see our recommendations for spending in the warrant we'll go over in this meeting tonight. Now, last year, in our town meeting, we were in the throes of the pandemic and therefore kept our presentations to a minimum. This year will be a bit more expansive. But by and large, the professionals we have hired to administer the town have done an excellent job. We have a balanced budget, we have spending under control, and we've made significant strides in the financial health of our town. We've earned a AAA bond rating from Moody's, largely in recognition of the good job we've done in positioning Newbury with appropriate financial reserves, budgets, and accurate forecasts, and provide for our spending needs and reasonable planning for our future capital outlays. It continues to be a pleasure to work with the professionals in our town and to observe the progress we continue to make year after year. Now, that being said, let me run down some of the important specifics. I mentioned a balanced budget. In addition, we're looking years into the future to see if we can see any impending issues and to make provisions to weather them. Capital improvements remain a priority in our town. The police have recently moved into their new facility, and the town has made repairs to the DPW, the fire station on Morgan Avenue, and Newbury Elementary School. There remains more to be done with both the Town Hall and the Council on Aging facilities determinations. To that end, you'll hear tonight how we plan to continue to make additional provisions to prepare for these capital expenditures. We've started a reduction in our energy uses with our streetlight conversion project. That has been a real success. This cost saving heralds the start of becoming a greener community, one that saves both energy and money. The town will continue to evaluate opportunities to improve our environment in the most cost-effective manner possible. Our roads initiative has upgraded more than 80% of the roads in Newbury. Something that's obvious as you drive in Newbury today, and something that's even more appreciated by every cyclist in the area. The town has developed this budget within the dictates of our comprehensive financial policies. In essence, we do not use any of our reserves or one-time funding sources for any of the ongoing activities in the town. You'll see this evening that current revenues are enough to support our ongoing operations and that we are tapping into reserves for one-time expenditures. We'll ask the voters to authorize some additional funding for those reserves. The town has been working on matching multi-year revenues to our ongoing operations and will continue to do so. Now, let's get into this year's numbers and that presentation. Next slide. Okay. So here graphically, you can see the increase in our budget over the past 5 years. What really is important is this increase has amounted to just 2.6% per year. And that shows that our budget is in control and has been for the immediate past 5 years. Next slide. Where does it come from? In this slide, you see the relative size of the components of our annual revenues. This hasn't changed much over the past several years and reflects what we have to work with. It also gives a little indication of the fact that our state aid is lower than our cost of performing the state-mandated programs in our public schools. Our revenue from the citizens of the town still compromises 75%, or the major portion of this budget. Next slide. Where does it go? Well, here you can see the majority of our budget goes to support our schools, 51% this year. And usually that doesn't vary much, again, from year to year, few percent at most. Our second major expenditure is the municipal costs. That's fire, police, the DPW, and administration. That's 36% this year. We finish up with benefits at 8% and the debt service at 5%. Next slide. In this slide, you can see the status of our funds from the 22nd of April when I took this information from our accountant. We're not proposing to change any of the land sale account or reserve fund in this evening's meeting. Next one. And these will be the balances in our free cash and stabilization, land sale, and reserve account if we pass all of the proposed articles that we have on this evening's warrant. So I'd like to take this opportunity to thank our town leadership and the administration for their support during this difficult year. We know you're there because we get answers to the emails, even though we have not seen you since the last annual town meeting. And finally, to our Finance Committee members whose last in-person meeting was our last annual town meeting. It's good to see you when you're not just a little square on my computer screen. Thank you, and I'll turn it back to our moderator. Mr. Moderator?
Thank you, Marshall. Could I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
And a second?
Second.
I move that the town vote to raise and appropriate the sum of $20,964,308 and to transfer $571,168 from the Special Assessment Fund to fund the operation of the town in the fiscal year 2022 as set forth in Article 6.
Second.
Any discussion or debate? Seeing none, let's vote. Give me 10. Thank you. Motion passes. Article 7, see if the town will vote to raise and appropriate the sum of $100,000 or any other sum to be added to the stabilization fund or take any other action in relation thereto.
Motion. I move the town vote to raise and appropriate the sum of $100,000 to add to the stabilization fund.
Second.
Discussion or debate? Yes.
Jim Moran, Elm Street. The question I have is, we have over 600,000 in the account now. If we adjust out after the articles 17, 18, 19, we'll still have over $400,000. Is it really necessary to put another 100,000 in at this time?
You want to address that?
Yes. Good evening, Jim.
Yeah.
Okay. So in
Wait a minute,
moving some of these monies around.
Can't hear him.
Okay. How's that? Okay.
Closer.
Really close. Okay, here we go.
There you
So, what we have to do is we do move things around to accomplish some of these aims, Jim. And so, yes, we believe it is really necessary, and this is part of our plan. And while you may question the total amount of what we are moving, I think it is reasonable and would, along with the Finance Committee, we voted that we should go ahead with this transfer. Thank you.
Any other discussion? Let's vote. Motion passes. Article 8, see if the town will vote to raise and appropriate the sum of $200,000 or any other sum to fund other post-employment benefits or take any other action in relation thereto. Selectman Hebe?
Yes. I move that the town votes to raise and appropriate the sum of $200,000 to be added to the other post-employment benefits trust account.
Second.
Discussion or debate? Jim?
Dick? I'm in favor of this, but I believe we've got to be adding to and talking about the Triton unfunded liabilities, which today is a staggering amount. And our $6 million that were unfunded here within the town, presently the Triton proportion that will probably fall in our lap is another $31 million. This is based on the current auditor's report that was published today. Marshall, I sent this to you by email. I don't know if you had a chance to look at it. And I know we can't do anything about it tonight, but I think it's very serious. And these numbers, 2 years ago, the amount increased at Triton by $9 million. And this coming year, it increased by $27 million. This, again, is just the Newbury portion of the unfunded liabilities at Triton. And of course, the only funding Triton gets is from the three communities. And I guess my question is if Brian is here tonight, what can we expect for the year 2021? Is it going to be another staggering amount? All three towns are going to be struggling with this issue in the future. I don't know if there's any easy answer. There certainly isn't. But maybe Brian could give us some insight if he's here. Thank you.
Thank you, Jim. Anyone else? Let's vote.
Is Brian going to talk, or
I'm sorry?
is Mr. Forger going to talk? Is the superintendent going to answer it all, or?
I don't think so.
All right, okay.
No, I
Just
don't think
asked.
so.
Just asked.
Do we vote? All set, thank you. I should have said that the superintendent would be happy to speak. I just didn't think it was necessary. Thank you. I also kind of missed an opportunity for Bob Connors to speak. Bob, where are you?
He's in the back.
Oh, yeah. At the police station.
Yeah.
At the police station?
Huh?
Chairman Colby, member of the Select Board and residents of Newbury, on behalf of the Police Station Construction Committee, I wanted to provide an update regarding the police station construction schedule and project budget. On November 12, 2019, town meeting approved the necessary funding to build a new police station on Morgan Avenue. On February 1st, 2021, the Newbury Police Department moved into 7 Morgan Avenue and was fully operational. The original budget for this project was $8,296,801. Payments and anticipated costs to date are $7,957,450. We received credits from BC Construction totaling $74,725. On grants, Chief John Lucy secured a $25,000 grant toward the new generator from Seabrook Station. Town Administrator Tracy Blaze secured $10,421 grant for energy credits from National Grid for electric and gas conservation measures throughout the new building. The remaining schedule, April 15th through May 15th, 2021, contractor punch list, exterior landscape, paving, top coat, and line completion. January 31, 2021 through January 31, 2022 is the contractor warranty period. Thank you.
Thank you, Bob. Article 9, to see if the town will vote to raise and appropriate the sum of $25,000 or any other sum for storm water management purposes or take any other action in relation thereto. Chairman Colby.
I move that the town vote to raise and appropriate the sum of $25,000 to the stormwater management account.
Second. We have a second? Second. Any discussion or debate? Jim?
Dick, thank you. We have a current balance of $99,000 in this account. It's difficult to understand that in the past several years, we've been putting 10, 15, 20,000 in. So we have 99,000. Why do we need another $25,000 in an account that we haven't been spending over the last several years?
Who's going to take that? Who wants to take that? Marshall, you?
Yeah, I might as well. Okay, Jim. What we have in here is, you're right, we do have basically $100,000. It's going to be $120,000 building up this account for the uses of the stormwater management. And we think it is an appropriate amount. We haven't used it yet, you're exactly right. But we do look at some of the infrastructure changes and improvements we have in the future, as I had mentioned in my earlier remarks. And so this would add to that fund in what we believe is an appropriate amount. Thank you.
Anyone else? Okay, let's vote. $93.42, it passes. Thank you. Article 10, to see if the town will vote to transfer or appropriate the sum of $95,000 or any other sum from the Receipts Reserved Cable Television PEG Access Special Revenue Fund for the support of PEG access service and programming, or take any other action in relation thereto. We have 3 legal opinions that say this is something we cannot do.
No. You can do this.
We can't do this. I'm sorry, we can't amend it. That's it.
Well,
Oh, I'm sorry, go ahead.
wow.
I move that the town vote to appropriate the sum of $95,050 from the Receipts Reserved Cable Television PEG Access Special Revenue Fund
Sorry.
to support PEG access service and programming.
Second.
Mr. Moderator.
Discussion or debate?
Mr. Moderator, I move to amend Article 10 by striking out $95,050 and inserting $190,100 and inserting the following language. The money to be divided equally between the Newbury Government Channel 9 and the Triton Channel 8. Further funds to Triton are subject to the conditions given in the town in the opinion of Attorney Peter Epstein dated April 15th, 2021, which states, 1, first, any equipment purchased for solely use for cable-related purposes that if a fiber connection is needed, that to be used for cable-related purposes. Second, that there be specific plan to produce cablecast, additional educational access and programming. Third, such funds will not be used for non-cable purposes, related purposes. Thank you.
So this is the article. The article is okay. What isn't okay is we cannot amend this article. We've had 3 opinions on that, 3 legal opinions, all of which say we cannot amend the article. So the amendment
Excuse me, can we?
is moot.
Can we second the motion and you still like discuss it?
Out of order.
Point of order.
It's just out of order.
No, it
Point of order, it
It's
isn't.
just out of order.
Point of order.
We're going to vote on the article, Article 10.
Excuse me, sir.
Point of
Point of
order.
order.
I'm sorry?
Point of order.
Yes.
It's always appropriate to accept an amendment from the floor as long as it is signed and it is in writing, and you have a signed motion to amend in your hand.
Make a determination, no motion is out.
And I make a determination that the motion is out of order.
Wow.
And I object to your determination.
And I object to that too, sir.
Okay.
Mr. Moderator?
Yes.
I will corroborate the moderator's stance that we have had several legal opinions saying that amending this motion in this fashion is illegal, just like it was last year. That's why those funds couldn't get used as they were proposed.
May I be heard? May I respond to that?
You may.
Thank you. I was going to ask, but it's not allowed to be amended, that these people who came here tonight would vote for this amendment. Because it's a vote for the Trident schools and the Trident students. Now, you've heard about this letter, a legal opinion that they received last week from Attorney Epstein. And I know Attorney Epstein is a very knowledgeable attorney in this very specific area of the law. However, his opinion is not worth the paper it's written on. Because when I was practicing law, I used to hate it when my clients would not tell me the whole truth, or they wouldn't tell me the real truth, or they wouldn't tell me the total truth. And that's what you have here. The town asked for an opinion, and his opinion said that Trident could not avail themselves of this money because Trident did not currently provide PEG access service or programming for town residents. And without a plan to actually produce and telecast educational programming, Triton could not be funded. So I guess the town administration never bothered to tell Attorney Epstein to go on the town website, click the button, Triton TV, Triton VTV programming and see all the daily programming and cable shows that the students are producing. I went to the town website today and I counted 22 programs scheduled for today on Triton TV, and these students have no funding once again this year. So there is programming, there are plans, because they've been doing this for the last 10 years. In fact, I challenge you, and I challenge Mr. Moderator and Attorney Mead to go to the website today or tomorrow, and you folks, go there tonight when you get home, go to your computer, go to the town website, click scheduling, Viking TV Triton, and you will see all the shows. I counted 22 shows that are running today. And this letter says there's no current programming or plans. That's not true. They've been doing this unfunded for 10 years. But you know something? Despite the fact that Attorney Epstein didn't have all the facts, he did in fact tell us that we could fund it. Because his letter says, and I quote, the town can only provide cable funding to Triton if Triton, 1, actually produces educational access programming, 2, actually cablecast such programming to Newbury cable subscribers, and 3, does not use any such funds for non-cable related purposes. And Mr. Doyle's letter, amendment tracks that language, which guarantees compliance with the law. And it makes it clear how this money can be spent for Triton and for the students in their programming. And I was going to ask you to vote yes, but apparently, according to Mr. Moderator, you're not going to get the chance. Just like the students aren't going to get the chance to get funded by PEG money, which is 5% every time you pay your cable bill.
It's not tax money.
It's not tax money. I ask you, why did they increase your cable bill when they renewed the 10-year contract without any public input? Why did they raise your cable subscription rate 5% to collect this money if they're refusing to use it? And there's $65,000 in that account. Ask yourself, what are they going to use this money for if not for its intended purpose? What are they going to use it? Are they going to use it for town hall? Of course they are. Just like tonight, we're going to put over $2 million into another town hall account when we do not have any plans yet. Thank you. And please, look at the Triton website. See all the programs these kids are doing. It's impressive. You'll be impressed. And ask yourself, why are we collecting this money if we can't use it for the schools, for PEG? Public access, education, and government. That's what it stands for.
Mr. Moderator, may I respond?
That's Alicia.
Alicia, yes.
So the motion is to appropriate $95,000 and $95,050 to provide PEG access funding for the Newbury channel that provides government programming so that our town residents can see our public meetings. It also provides public access. Although it is minimal, we do have a public access program. Matt Cooper has recently been hired by the town. He's more than happy to help any town resident that was interested in any public access. There's also an educational component. And because we are a regional school district, our school district has to be equally funded by the 3 schools. The account that this cable access money is going into is a restricted account. It can only be used for public access. It's a receipts reserved cable television PEG access special revenue fund. It's very similar to the ambulance fund. You can't take money out of the ambulance fund and spend it for something other than ambulance needs. That's similar to this. In this $95,000, there is a $5,000 line item to support Triton. Triton needs to come up with an equipment list that they need, and it has to be equally funded by the 3 towns, and Newbury will provide that funding. One of the things that I sit on is the District Communication Committee at the Triton Regional School District, and one of the things that we're discussing with the superintendent is to come up with a supplemental budget, not separate from the operating budget, so that the 3 towns can equally fund our educational programming, VTV. Last year, the town, no, it wasn't last year, it was the year before. 2 years ago, town meeting appropriated an additional $50,000 that provided Triton with a TriCaster system so that we could connect their channel 8 to our TV. So it's not that we're not supporting Triton, it's not that we don't want to support Triton. We can't support it this way. There is another alternative method of funding it, and I am working towards that with the superintendent and the 3 towns. So I urge you to please support this motion, because otherwise the television will get turned off and you will not see your government at work, and that is not transparent.
Are you supporting
Thank you.
my motion? Can I respond?
Point of order, Mr. Moderator.
You have some additional information, new information?
I have a point of order.
Okay. Just take your mask off so people can hear you a little clearer. Thank you.
My name is Joe McDonough. I live at 43 Main Street. I'm the former chairman of the media committee that Ms. Greco asked me to chair. She's come up with a number of solutions that claim to be able to help Triton but comply with the law. They just haven't been followed through on. So my point of order is this. Are you, the moderator, making a legal decision that this motion cannot be brought up because you feel the selectmen are correct in making a decision that Triton has not complied with the state and federal laws regarding the expenditure of PEG funds?
I am not making a decision on the article. It's the amendment that we're talking about. The amendment is not legal.
Let me clarify.
I'm sorry?
Let me clarify
the motion.
My point of order.
The article.
Point of order is this. Are you, as the moderator, making a decision that this amendment cannot be voted on because the purpose would be illegal?
That's correct.
Okay, you're not allowing it to come to a vote.
We have 3 legal opinions to that effect.
I think you've heard one of them refuted because the person giving the legal opinion.
I heard that he was a very competent attorney and that we disagree with him.
He is. But
That's what I heard.
When you feed
very
junk,
competent attorney and we disagree with him.
When you feed junk in, you get junk out. If you do not give your attorney the proper information, you will not get a proper answer.
We are not going to vote.
It appears, Mr. Moderator,
I'm sorry.
that you are making a legal decision that this amendment is improper.
That's correct.
I question that ruling.
That's correct. Thank you.
Mr. Moderator, I move the motion. It's the original motion.
Oh, no, we're still talking about...
Let's vote.
Mr. Moderator, I haven't spoken yet, and I brought up the motion. Can I speak, please? Well, just a quick, I want 3 seconds.
The motion to move the question is a priority.
All right, I've worked at Triton
Can I ask
VTV.
a question?
We have a priority motion to move the article.
So you're not going to let me speak? I'm a selectman, you're not going to let me speak?
You have something new to say?
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
Okay.
What do you have new to say?
I worked with this VTV program for 5 years. They were going to take the money that we gave them last year to build a green set, okay? I don't know why you people are so dead against not giving Triton the money and putting it in the town hall.
I have not heard, excuse me, I have not heard somebody say they were against giving money to Triton. Has anybody heard that? I don't think that's the issue. The issue is, can it be done this way?
Yes, it is the issue.
Thank you.
So could I ask a question?
Yes, if it's new information, you
It
may.
is- It is new information. My name is Fred Davis, 59 Main Street, Byfield. I heard Mike, Selectman Doyle, give a letter saying why from a lawyer that what he wanted to do was legal. I would like to hear word for word the legal definition of why we can't do it from town council instead of we just can't do it. Can she read us the document?
So, Mr. Roder, sure.
Excuse me, I'm sorry. Ms. Mead, aren't you excluded in your contract with the town from giving a legal opinion on this specialized area? And I have not seen 3 opinions
I haven't
from an
either.
attorney.
I have not either.
The one opinion I've seen was the attorney Epstein's letter from April 15th of last week.
Where's the town's opinion?
That is the only legal opinion.
Kelly.
You want to speak to that?
Sure. If I could, there are 3 legal opinions. There's the opinion from Mr. Epstein, Attorney Epstein, dated April 15th. There's my opinion to the Board of Selectmen dated December 7th, and that's based upon the legal determination of the General Counsel of the Division of Local Services at the Department of Revenue, when the town last year put forward the request to spend the funds that were appropriated last year. The Bureau of Accounts raised a question with the town accountant relative to the expenditure of the funds. I was asked to approach the Department of Revenue and ask if there was a way, if the town could spend the funds. It was very clear from Attorney Hunt, who's the general counsel, that the town could not spend PEG access funds in the manner which it had been proposed last year. I provided that legal opinion to the Board of Selectmen, in addition to the fact that it violates the license in accordance with Attorney Epstein. So there are 2 issues with it. The town is not allowed to use the PEG access funds out of this account to support Triton and make capital improvements and give them equipment and buy capital improvements in Triton. There is a method by which it can happen, which has not been proposed. The town can lease equipment, can purchase it and own it for its own cable access channel and lease it to Triton, but they may not use cable access funds raised off of Newbury customers for capital at Triton. So the Department of Revenue denied the request to spend the funds in this manner. The Board of Selectmen then, it's my understanding, asked for a legal opinion from an attorney who specialized in cable access and licensing. That's what was provided by Attorney Epstein, who actually confirmed that and also said there's a method to do it, but it's not done in this article.
Excuse me, if I may correct the record, the board on 3 different occasions voted against getting a legal opinion when I asked them to get a legal opinion. And Ms. Hunt from the Department of Revenue, she sent an email to you and the town administrator, and on the bottom of the email was a notation saying, this is not a legal opinion. So I've seen 1 legal opinion by Attorney Epstein, which the town administration got in violations of the 3 times the 3 board members voted against getting a legal opinion to ask, not how do we not use this money and keep it, but how do we give it to Triton? It's easy to ask how we can't do things. It's more difficult to say, how can we do something? Just setting the record straight, Ms. Mead.
Well, if I could, Mr. Moderator,
Yes,
and with all due respect to the member, the email chain that you referred to between myself and Attorney Hunt actually asked how this can happen, which is how we came up with the proposal, which I had a conversation with the selectman member and attorney, and also member Greco, the town administrator, the town accountant, on how it could actually happen. which is how the whole leaseback idea came up. So we advocated for town's position. It was very clear from the Department of Revenue that it couldn't be done in the manner set forth in this article, and that was the decision of the Department of Revenue. Every single one of their opinions out of the Division of Local Services all say this is not a legal opinion.
So, Mr. Moderator.
Okay, let's vote on Article 10.
We're not going to consider the motion?
No, we're not. We're going to vote on Article 10 as it's written here. Is everybody clear on that article? Yes? Okay. Let's vote.
One moment, Mr. Moderator.
Yeah, why does that work?
There it is.
The slide is now open for you.
It's what?
It's open.
It's open, okay. You can vote. Ten seconds. Thank you. Passes.
Thank you, town meeting members. Now we can continue to watch our government in action for you on our TV station. Thank you.
Article 11, to see if the town will vote to authorize the total expenditures for the following revolving funds pursuant to GLC 44, General Law C 44, Section 53E and a half, for the fiscal year beginning July 1, 2021, to be expended in accordance with the bylaws heretofore approved. Selectman Walker.
I move that the town vote to authorize the total expenditures for the following revolving funds for the fiscal year beginning July 1st, 2021, to be expended in accordance with the Chapter 35 of the Code of the Town of Newbury. Recreation Revolving Fund, $50,000. Municipal Waterways Improvement and Maintenance Fund, $55,000.
Second.
Discussion or debate? Seeing none, let's vote. Passes. Thank you. Article 12, to see if the town will vote to raise and appropriate or transfer from available funds the following sums or any other sums to operate the ambulance enterprise. Salaries and wages, $96,710. Expenses, $92,360. And the balance are on the other side. Mike?
Okay, I move that the town vote to appropriate the following sums of money to operate the ambulance enterprise fund. Do you want, Mr. Moderator, do you want me to read the numbers?
Yes.
Yes,
Okay,
please.
okay, just to make, salaries and wages, $96,710. Expenses, $92,360. Capital overlay, $12,000. Debt services, $0. Insurance, $5,000. Medicare, $1,500. Indirect costs, $59,046. Extraordinary and unforeseen, $12,000. Prior year deficit, $0. Total is $278,616. And further, that's $278,616 be raised as follows. Department receipts were $788,608.
$278,000.
I'm sorry, thank you, I'm sorry. $278,616. Thank you.
Thank you, Mike.
Thanks.
Have a second? Discussion or debate?
And I'd like,
All in favor? I'm sorry. Let's vote.
that was funny. I made a mistake.
It's good. You're doing good.
Yeah.
I make them all the time.
Great, thank you. Article 13, to see if the town will vote to transfer from available funds the sum of $4,895 to pay the following outstanding bill from fiscal year 2020. Patriot Properties, $4,800. Keep It Safe, $95. Or take any other action there too. Selectman Heavey. Selectwoman, I'm sorry.
I move that the town transfer from free cash the sum of $4,895 to pay the following outstanding bills from fiscal year 2020. Patriot Properties, Inc., $4,800. Keep It Safe, $95. A four-fifths vote required.
This requires a 4/5 vote. Do I have a second?
Second.
Let's vote. It passes. Thank you. Article 14, to see if the town will vote to transfer the sum of $6,472.61 or any other sum from the receipts reserved for appropriation account to the town hall project account, or take any other action in relation thereto.
I move that the town transfer the sum of $6,472.61 from the receipts reserved for appropriation account to the town hall project account.
Second.
Discussion or debate? Seeing none, let's vote. Passes, thank you. Article 15, to see if the town will vote to transfer the sum of $574,323.50 or any other sum from the overlay surplus to the town hall project account or act in relation thereto. Chairwoman Greco.
I move that the town transfer the sum of $574,323.50 from the overlay surplus to the town hall project account.
Second.
Discussion or debate? Seeing none, let's vote. Thank you. Article 15, to see if the town will vote to transfer the sum of $574,000. I'm sorry?
Next article.
Next one.
Next article.
I'm sorry. Next article.
16.
16. How we did that, didn't we? Okay. Article 16. To see if the town will vote to transfer the sum of $1,500,000 or any other sum from free cash to the town hall project account or act in relation thereto. Selectman Walker.
I move that the town transfer the sum of $1,500,000 from free cash to the town hall project account.
Second.
Discussion or debate?
Jack Rybicki, 37 Larkin Road. I submitted to you an amendment that I'd like to propose for this, Dick.
Yes. You want to read it? You have it there?
Yes, I do. I move to amend Article 16 by striking the words Town Hall Project Account and inserting Council of Aging Improvement Account.
Second.
My feeling, if for noted, the same reasoning that the FinCom and the Select Board uses for the savings of money, which I think we can all appreciate. I believe a commitment to the Council of Aging by starting an account here. The establishment of this account uses the same points of logic for taxpayer savings as are used by the FinCom and Select Board for the establishment of the Town Hall project account. But instead, this will create an earmarked position, taxpayer dedicated to Council of Aging concerns, long unaddressed, with monies accessible under any build circumstance, which would include, if the town hall and them should choose to team up, the monies would still be available for a combined need or a standalone need. But I think it's important we all start making a commitment to the Council of Aging because they're a priority, not the town hall account necessarily. Thank you.
So I think it should be pretty clear to everybody that I have a vested interest in the Council of Aging. However, this amendment is beyond the scope of the article.
Mr. Moderator.
Jim?
Marshall Jesperson here. Can I speak?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Okay.
Behind you.
Oh.
I'm over here.
Sorry, Marshall.
It's okay. It's okay. Sneaking up on you.
Oh, I saw it.
Okay. Jack and I had a little discussion about this some time ago. And I opened my remarks today with the idea that we are putting money aside for capital projects. The fact that it is named the town hall account is just for convenience. In reality, what has to happen is there has to be planning for either the Council on Aging or the town hall or both that comes before this body and gets voted on before any of this money is released. The money could be just called a capital improvement account or major capital expenditure, whatever you want. But the reality, Jack, is that the town is looking at all of these and has to make a determination as to how to spend the money. Right now, we have to put the money aside, whether it's for Council on Aging, Town Hall, the Morgan Avenue Fire Station, whatever those projects are, we need to start this funding. Whatever the plans are will come before this body before any of that money is spent. And so while I appreciate your sentiment, and I agree with it, we have to look at these, but to fractionate this into different accounts does us no good at this time. And so while it's a great sentiment, but it as far as the money is concerned, its fungibility is absolute, and we have to come before this body before we can do anything with that money, and we'll present the plans to the body to get approval for that. Thank you.
Jim.
Mr. Moderator, could you please clarify, is this amendment being considered or not?
It is not.
Okay, thank you. So we're back to the original article.
Yes, we are.
Okay.
Excuse me, I have a point of order on the amendment, Mr. Moderator. We've just heard from the Finance Chairman that the name of this account really does not matter. You've made a ruling that has said this is beyond the scope of the amendment. Do you wish to reconsider, since we've just been told that the name of the account is inconsequential and the monies are fungible and can be transferred?
I think the explanation from the chairman of the Finance Committee is appropriate. Basically, the money, once the plans are there, which we don't have yet, for the Council on Aging, then we can respond to that on where that money will be spent. But there's nobody in the town who's not interested in supporting the Council on Aging, from what I've heard. Jim.
So, again, this amendment is not being considered. We're back to the original article.
Yes.
Correct?
Yes.
If we approve this article, then there'll be about $3.3 million in whatever account, whatever you want to call it. But I think the issue beyond this, and I think it's important for everybody here and people at home to understand, is that according to a recent Council on Aging meeting, the current proposal from the town is to demo the old town hall, build a 19,000 square foot complex for the Town Hall and Council on Aging for an estimated amount in the range of $12 to $13 million and take up to 3 years to complete. Now, a similar proposal was made by the town 3 years ago with the town hall and the police station, and when that came to vote, 64% of the voters in town voted
Point
that
of order,
down.
Mr. Moderator?
Could I please finish?
Let her finish.
Could I please finish? So I think the point of order, I think the important thing here is we're far from spending this money. The more important issue is what is the plan ahead? And I see that we continue to struggle with a good plan in the future. Thank you.
Thank you.
Dick, question.
Point of order.
Yes.
This wasn't, the motion wasn't about the project.
Can't hear you.
The motion was about transferring money. It wasn't about a project.
It says town hall project.
A clarification, Dick, too, from Jack Rybicki, please. Marshall, we discussed at the meeting that the matter of perception is important here, and that verbiage, if Council of Aging had a standalone building, the verbiage for an amendment to remove money from a town hall account would have to read as if the Council of Aging would be taking from the town hall account. Perception is a terrible thing. If we all agree that there is a semantic issue here, the notion that it goes into an account saying Council of Aging isn't the point. Isn't a problem, Dick, and I don't think it should be an issue for our town administrator to be able to start an account with $1.5 million saying Council of Aging Improvement Fund, if not eliminate town hall improvement account and call capital improvement account so we can all access it without the perception that the money is dedicated to a particular mission, which at this time everybody thinks 3.2 million is going into the town hall account to build the town hall and 0 is dedicated to the Council of Aging. This isn't a hard thing, Dick. Thank you.
We have established a town hall account. So that's but the town established that account.
Yeah.
We have not established a Council on Aging account, so the money has to, that motion
The
has to.
public did not have notice that there would be a discussion
voted.
about the Council on Aging account. They had notice that there would be discussion about the town council.
So we can't.
There was no notice given about change on the Council of Aging account. No notice was given. There was notice, which everybody got, of the money being transferred into the town hall project account. So we need to vote on this article.
Then the position should be no, and leave the 1.5 million in free cash so that we can reallocate it for the Council of Aging accordingly. Thank you.
Okay. Any other discussion or debate? Let's vote.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, the money will not be transferred. Article 17, to see if the town will vote to transfer the sum of $100,000 or any other sum from the stabilization fund to make repairs to the Newbury Elementary School roof or act in relation thereto. Selectman Doyle.
I move the town transfer the sum of $100,000 for the stabilization fund to make repairs of the Newbury Elementary School roof.
Second.
Discussion or debate? Jim?
This is a 5-year project. My question, I have 2 questions. The 5-year project, what is the estimated total cost? And secondly, it implies the DPW will be doing some roofing work. I need clarification if that's the case. And if so, will the warranty on roof work, that's very unusual. Usually you have to have certified roofers to do roofing work. Those 2 questions.
Okay, thank you, Jim. The amount on this project, I believe, and I don't have it right in front of me, is about $670,000 plus or minus, number one. Number two, the DPW is overseeing the work, but not doing the work. And so we do get the warranty from the people who are doing the work. Both good questions. Thank you.
A little clarification. I thought last year we had put money into this account and we're asking for another 100 this year. You said a total was 170,000?
670.
670?
Yes.
Okay, thank you very, so we'll be, every year for the next 3 years, we'll be putting more to get to the total of 670. Is that the plan?
Yes, that's what we're projecting, yes.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jim. Article 18.
We didn't vote yet, did we?
You gotta
We didn't vote yet,
You gotta
sir.
vote on
Did we not vote?
No, we didn't vote.
And we need 2/3.
Any other discussion or debate? All right, let's vote.
You need 2/3, Dick.
And we need a 2/3 majority on this one. It passes. Thank you. Article 18, see if the town will transfer the sum of $13,820 or any other sum from the stabilization fund to purchase lawnmower or act in relation thereto. Selectwoman Heavey.
I move that the town transfer the sum of $13,820 from the stabilization fund to purchase a lawnmower.
Second. This requires a 2/3 vote also. Discussion or debate? Seeing none, let's vote. Thank you. Article 19, to see if
You have to declare it passes.
it passes, is well over 2/3, thank you. To see if the town will vote to transfer the sum of $54,624 or any other sum from the stabilization fund to purchase a dump truck or act in relation thereto. Chairman Colby.
I move that the town transfer the sum of $54,625 or any other sum from the stabilization fund to purchase a dump truck.
Second.
Discussion or debate? Seeing none, let's vote. This is a 2/3 vote also. The motion passes. Article 20, see if the town will vote to transfer the sum of $5,000 or any other sum from free cash to fund a Newbury celebration event or act in relation thereto. Vice Chair Greco.
I move that the town transfer the sum of $5,000 or any other sum from free cash to fund a Newbury celebration event.
Second.
Discussion or debate? We're going to ask Robin Lawson to speak briefly about what the intent is here. Please.
I'm Heidi Fram. I've been a resident of Byfield for most of my life and have participated in a lot of community activities, including the organization of Byfield Days and the Byfield Community Arts Center and Byfield Music and Arts Festival, but I'm still a member of the town of Newbury, and we have conceived this idea to incorporate all of those different neighborhoods of Newbury.
I'm Robin Lawson. I live in Byfield. I'm chair of the Newbury Cultural Council, which is initiating this event. And I think that this event will make Newbury an even greater place to live.
We're really hoping to bring the residents of Newbury, the neighborhoods of Plum Island, Byfield, and Old Town together so that we can share and build a stronger sense of community here.
And we're doing it for fun. It's a great idea. It's a great opportunity.
As opposed to town meeting.
Now, we are hoping that it will provide an opportunity for us to learn and share, to provide a way for Newbury residents to learn about and experience the enormous cultural, historic, arts, civic, and natural treasures of our town.
This project was initiated by the local Newbury Cultural Council, which is supported by the Mass Cultural Council. The steering committee that is involved in the initial inception of it, we're all volunteers on this project, and we're all coming from the different neighborhoods of Newbury.
We're all doing this strictly as volunteers and, as I said before, for fun. The plan, as it stands right now, is for the event to take place in the center of town, accessible to everybody, potentially at the Spencer Pierce Little Farm and the Upper Green, but the other venues really depend on what activities you all come up with.
We've listed a bunch of things that are possible activities, but we're really going to be relying on you, the citizens of Newbury, to help us out and come up with things that you would like to see happen, ways to promote our community and the varied cultural and historic and recreational activities that exist here that make us, as Dick said, quoted in the Boston Globe this past week, we are certainly one of the best places to be.
The question is, how can you get involved? Well, the first way is that you can bring your ideas and friends and family to the town-wide brainstorming meeting on Saturday, May 22nd, from 11 to 1 at Newbury Elementary School in the gym. You can drop in, you can stay for the whole time, or you can send your friends and families to make sure that your idea is represented at the event. It's going to be a lot of fun. The idea is for people to step up and volunteer to lead activities, to be team captains, and to put together groups to make it happen. The other ways that you can help are to spread the word, to tell everybody about it, and also to pick up a flyer as you leave. Now, $5,000. What will that money be used for? We have expenses, upfront expenses, promotion, etc. And we also have expenses, of course, at the event, which will be police detail, rentals, and transportation. I wanted to be sure to mention that we already have several $1,000s in-kind donations from Tracy Smith, who lives on the island, who's provided us with spectacular graphic design. So we ask you, please, for your approval of this seed money.
So if we get your approval, we can go ahead and have some fun.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Did we have a second on this? I think we did.
Yes, we did.
Okay. Let's vote. That's great. Thank you. Passes big time. to see if the town will vote to transfer the sum of $50,000 or any other sum from free cash to construct a basketball court at the Central Street Recreation Area, or take any other action in relation thereto. Selectman Walker.
I move that the town transfer the sum of $50,000 or any other sum from free cash to construct a basketball court at the Central Street Recreational Area. And Mr. Moderator, I think Mike Volpone would like.
Yes, yep, we're all set. He's going to come up, Mike, you want to come up and talk about it?
You need a second.
All right, did we get a second on this, by the way?
Second.
We did, okay. Sure.
Good evening, everybody. You've seen me before a couple of times on this project. The Rec Committee has been working very hard to try to get this thing taken care of and done the right way and the most cost-efficient way. Unfortunately, with COVID, things got a little bit more pricey than we expected in regards to the cost of how things were done. The original bid that was approved last August was for $90,000, and we thought we were there. We hired a consultant, Chris Huntress, from Huntress Sports, who was also the one that helped design the soccer fields on Central Street. And from that, we thought we were in pretty good shape. And then the cost started to go up regarding materials. So after sending out one set of bids for a basic asphalt court, the Versa court, and 6 hoops, and a 4-foot fence that goes halfway around the court, we thought we'd be okay in getting it under the amount. Unfortunately, as I've been saying, the costs went up, and we came in with a bid through the first round that was $140,000. So then we went back, sharpened our pencils, tried to see if there's things that we could cut. So now we have an asphalt court with 2 hoops and the fence, and the bid came in at $128,179. Can you just flip one? So that bid has been accepted. The town is right now working with Vermont Recreation to get this done. What we're here tonight to ask for is the additional $50,000 is for the Versa court and the other 4 hoops to make the whole court really worth the while to be done in the first place. We're not asking for anything else additional for it. We're just trying to get this thing completely done, so it's going to be more of a revenue opportunity than something, so you can have multiple games going at both times for Triton High School, Triton Youth Basketball, places that want to rent this out. But if you look from the Monday, that's $39,345. The extra 4 hoops are $10,008, and the Versa court's $28,545. So our total cost now is $167,000. If you add the $50,000 to the $128,000, you have $178,000. The additional money right now is in case we have a contingency if we have any problems that go along. We're not adding anything else to it other than those the 4 hoops and the Versa court. I know it's a lot to ask, but we know right now with the way the court sits with 2 hoops, it's really not going to be as beneficial, and it's not going to help us as much generating revenue as those 2 other things being added, the courts and the hoops. That was it.
We had a second on this motion?
Yes.
Okay, discussion or debate? Yes, Mike?
Mr. Moderator, I was the only person on the stage that voted against this, and I only voted against it for one reason. We have a police station we just built. We have a town hall and a senior citizen we got to build. We have no idea what the revenues from the state are going to be next year. I'm not against it, Mike. I know we spoke to you. And like I said, I'm just saying, it's not the time to do this because a $167,000 basketball court can be used better for senior citizens right now in my book. Thank you.
Well, let's just see if other people have a response. Other discussion or debate on this?
Yes, I have a comment. I have a question.
Yes.
Up here. Claire Dix on High Road. Thank you for the presentation because last year, and again, I'm not against basketball either. I played in high school. I love basketball. But the presentation last year left me a bit bewildered, and I was surprised that people right away cast their vote for $90,000 because I thought the goals were unclear. So at that time, the presenters said that they would be raising the money. And now I understand that 19,000 and a little bit more has been raised, but whether or not that 19,000 comes through is dependent on whether we, the citizens in Newbury, vote for the 50,000. That's the way I read it in the paper. So since that has been raised, I would like the presenters to go back to the drawing board and perhaps look for other funding, grants, or other sources, because in the future, the town may want to put some of the money into other types of recreational activities. So I am voting no for this at this time.
Thank you very much for your response. The only reason why we're looking to push this now and trying to get it done is because it would be covered under the original work being done. If we do it after the fact, then it wouldn't be covered. So we're just trying to make sure, because what we'd have to do is then drill the 4 holes for the additional hoops and leave them, and then have to aftermarket do it after the fact. That's the only reason why we're trying to do this now. Unfortunately, because we were under a time constraint for the 30-day acceptance of the bid, I mean, we've already been trying to do everything we can. If there was a better idea, I'd be more than happy for it.
All right, so I just feel from that explanation right there, then there's putting a little bit of pressure on us to vote for this when the entire project wasn't carefully thought out.
We've worked on this project for 2 years. Actually, David, go ahead.
David Brohl, 3 River Street. I'm on the Recreation Committee. We've spent 3 years working on this project. And when it first came up, we tried to get money from town, and it didn't work out. When we bid this, or from different people, we got a certain price. And when the actual bids came in, it was so much more than we even thought. As you can see today, construction costs have gone up 200%. Our concern is now, if we sit and wait on this, we're going to end up even like with the police station and other things, the cost is going to go up even higher. I think that the $50,000, when we thought it, we saw how much money it was, all of us were taken aback by it. But the reality is that these prices have gone up exponentially, and they're not going to go down. So I just feel at this point, to get this thing done and actually bring in some revenue for it, it's not like we're going to put it in and we're not going to get a use out of it. Everybody in town will get use from it, including the kids. And then the other part about it is that we'll actually be able to bring in revenue by having adult leagues come in and use it. So it's not like a waste of money. It's something that the town will enjoy, will bring in some revenue, and in general terms, if we wait, we'll get to the point where we'll have 2 hoops out there and maybe a couple kids playing. So we want to make it so it's usable, it brings in revenue, and it's something the town can look at it and say, hey, we did a great job with this.
Thank you.
Mr. Moderator? Mr. Moderator, may I speak? I'm behind you. Behind you.
Oh. Yeah.
Hi. Erica Jacobson, Scotland Road, Newbury, speaking as a citizen, not as a member of the Finance Committee. The Central Street Fields location is become a preeminent place that children use from all over the communities. This is done, the soccer fields and the field house building have been a tremendous investment. If one of the reasons that we are such a desirable place to live is because we are investing in our children and our recreational facilities that are here. I believe that this is a very wise way to invest in safe outdoor activities. We hear so much about how kids need to be outside, need to be doing it. This additional $50,000 is a long-term investment in creating a wonderful place for people to live, visit, and raise families. Thank you.
Anyone else? Yes.
Yeah, Dave Dempsey, 846th Street, Plum Island. I'm also on the Recreation Committee. And we have worked for this for 3 years. What we have right now is we have a bid that we've accepted, which will give us an asphalt court with 2 baskets at each end. We won't have the premium court on top, which is what we're asking for, and was the original bid. We also asked so we could have 6 baskets so that there could be leagues playing, there could be youth sports playing, there could be clinics for our youth, there could be high school coaches using the court. We have 2 asphalt courts right now in the town. If you go look at them, they're all frost heaved, they're disrupted, they're not playable. And an asphalt court for high school kids and adults to play on is an unsafe court because it does freeze up and you do have issues with it over the couple of years. So right now, the additional $50,000 will give us a court that not only shines in the town of Newbury, which also coincides with the opening statement about the Boston Globe article. It's about really giving our youth an opportunity to have a quality outdoor court. The gymnasiums, to rent them in this town and any other town, any other city. I've been a coach in a couple of cities, an athletic director. I know what it costs to rent the gym. So for a coach at a high school level or middle school level that wants to run a basketball clinic in the summertime to rent the gym is astronomical. Here we can offer them an exclusive court that's available to them that they can bring kids into a safe environment in an area that's already our recreation. The Recreation Committee was put on with a mission to improve our recreation facilities, not just for our youth, but for all of the town, for adults, senior citizens, and that's what that Central Park is all about. And the basketball court is just going to enhance that and make that a much better site and much better facility for all ages, all adults, and it can be used for other things. It can be used for pickleball. It can be used for other things on that same court. So it has its versatility, and if we put just an asphalt court there, 4 or 5 years from now, we're all going to be sitting here. The other thing is if this $50,000 doesn't get taken care of now, and we wait another 6 months, we'll come back for the same thing, and it'll be $75,000 at that time. So, and that's not putting pressure, that's just a fact. So, and again, thank you, and I hope you all do vote yes on this.
Thank you. Okay, anything else? Anybody else?
Yeah, my name's Mike Bowling. I live in Byfield. There are a number of things that I'm curious about. First of all, what percentage of the time would this be available to local kids if you're going to rent it out? And the other thing is, I really don't like the fact that that rental keeps coming up, that this is going to generate money. We have already sunk a bunch of money into that field house over there at the recreational field, and it's still not being used to the capacity we were told it would. And that just continues. It's just going to be more and more and more money. I would rather see part of this money put into that project and finish it before we start something else. I understand the need for a basketball court. We had a basketball hoop down at the Yellow School when my kids were little that consisted of a bent pole and the hoop with no net. And there were kids playing there every day, and it was in terrible condition. But, you know, it is necessary to have things for kids to do to get them out of the house and off the couch. And I am fully behind that. I just can't see all these, you know, we need more stuff to rent. What is the return to me as a taxpayer by renting all this out? I know it puts money into the recreational account. What goes to the town? What are my tax savings? How does it affect us? Thanks.
Can I answer that, sir?
Yes. Mike, you respond to that, and then we're going to vote, okay?
Just so you're aware, first on the field house, it's not that we haven't wanted to use the field house. We're dying to use it as much as you are. The problem is we didn't receive our license of occupancy until October 2019. And then March of 2020 is when COVID hit. And the expenses, it costs us $75 every time we clean that facility. And if we did that for the 175 days that the field house is open and we only clean it once, that's $13,125. Our budget's only $50,000. Our annual expenses are $29,000 and change. So we're almost maxed out. I don't know what the Board of Health's going to say. If they say twice, our budget's completely gone. That's why we can't open it. We certainly want to use this field house. We have been dying to use it. We want to start getting these things available. Okay. Regarding the fees and regarding to renting out, I want this to be for the town more than anything. I will be the first person on that court playing because I don't care if it's a pickup game with Jack Radbicki that we used to do years ago. Without my kids, whatever. This is not going to be, it's just, Rental is going to be part of it, but not all of it. We want this to be for the town. That was why we're all invested in this as volunteers.
Thank you, Mike. Okay, let's vote.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. Passes. Article 22, some bylaw changes. To see if the town will vote to petition the general court to amend Chapter 460 of the Acts of 2008 and establishing a selectman administrator form of government for the town of Newbury as follows. The title, Board of Selectmen or Selectmen, shall be changed to Select Board throughout the Act. Section 13, the following changes shall be made. The title, Town Planner, shall be changed to Planning Director. Section 15, the following changes shall be made. Bold and underlined, new and strike through removed. Prior to the last day of March, the town administrator shall submit in writing to the Board of Selectmen the careful, detailed estimate of the probable expenses of the town government for the ensuing fiscal year, stating the amount required to meet the interest and maturing bonds and notes or other outstanding indebtedness of the town, and showing specifically the amount necessary to be provided for each fund and department, together with a statement of the expenditures of the town for the same purposes in the preceding year and an estimate of the expenditures for the current year. The town administrator shall also submit a statement showing all revenues received by the town in the preceding fiscal year, together with an estimate of the receipts of the current year and an estimate of the amount of income from all sources of revenue, exclusive of taxes upon property in the ensuing year. The town administrator shall report the probable amount required to be levied and raised by the taxation to defray all expenses and liabilities of the town, for the purpose of enabling the town administrator to make up the annual estimates of expenditures. All boards, offices, and committees of the town shall, during the first week of January, furnish all information in their possession and submit in writing to the town administrator a detailed estimate of the appropriations required for the efficient and proper conduct of their respective departments during the next fiscal year. The following change, this is section 16, the following changes shall be made, bold and underlined, new and removed. The Board of Selectmen shall consider the tentative budget submitted by the town administrator and make recommendations relative thereto as it considers expedient and proper for the interests of the town. The Select Board shall transmit a copy of the budget together with its recommendation relative thereto to each member of the Finance Committee, either at or before their joint meeting to finalize the budget for the following fiscal year. Selectman Doyle.
I'm going to let Selectman Heavey read. My voice is starting to go totally. I'm sorry.
Do you want to ask? Yeah, just get it close. Get it
My
close,
voice
Mike.
is gone. I'm going to let Selectman Heavey or somebody else read it, please. My voice is gone right now.
Okay. Someone else like to read that, please?
I'll read that for
I
you.
move that the town vote to authorize the Board of Selectmen to petition the General Court of the Commonwealth of Massachusetts to amend Chapter 460 of the Acts of 2008, and to see if the town will vote to amend Newbury General Bylaws to replace all gendered references to Board of Selectmen with Select Board, and further to amend sections 13, 15, and 16 as printed in the warrant, and further to authorize the selectmen to make any other changes as to form in order to effectuate the purpose of this article.
Second.
Discussion or debate? Jim?
Yes, sir. Parts of this I agree with, and one particular part I very vehemently disagree with, and I'm going to vote no on it. And that is where the town administrator has until the last day of March to prepare the budget. That allows the FinCom and the Board of Selectors and also the people of the town less than 4 weeks to look at numbers in the $20 million range. Presently, that is supposed to be prepared 90 days before the town meeting, and this is a major, major change. Does not give all the parties involved enough time to do diligence to the project. Thank you.
Marshall?
Okay, thank you, Jim. In looking at the changes in this bylaw, what we're doing is trying to effectuate what happens in reality. Because with a lot of the things that are out there, we have to wait, certainly with the education component of our budget. We have to wait a little longer than would be dictated in this bylaw. We are looking at these things earlier and parts of them, but we have to wait much closer to annual town meeting to get the last of it all together. So this is this really is a good housekeeping measure, and I think we have enough time to look at these things because it's not like we start at this time, but we have been looking at them and have to finish at this time. But thank you for the comment.
This year, I asked Tracy in the end of January for a copy of the preliminary budget, and within a few days, she emailed that to me. Now, I understand the process is one of coming up with numbers, talking about them, changing them. This process, it doesn't happen quickly, and there's no way in a 4-week period, in the first 4 weeks of April, plus the time it takes to print the document, and I believe the warrant has to be printed and approved 2 weeks prior to this meeting. So effectively, this falls into a 2-week window. Makes no sense at all. Now, a prime example of a great budget is what Triton does. They have a 56-page budget. They start their budget in the fall, and it goes every 2 weeks. This is thrashed over and over and over to bring it down to where it needs to be. I think this is a big mistake to chop that out. Thank you.
Anyone else? Okay, let's vote. Article passes. Article 23, to see if the town will vote to amend Article 11, Section 97-11C of the Town of Newbury zoning bylaw by revising the current subsection C as follows, with new language indicated by bold, underline, and deleted language indicated by strike through. Larry, do you want to speak to this? And Martha? Where's Martha?
She's down front.
Do you want to come up? What the heck?
Thank you, Mr. Moderator. I'm Larry Murphy, Vice Chair of the Planning Board. Planning Board is required to make a report to town meeting of this proposed article. What the article does is it proposes to amend the administrative section of the zoning bylaw regarding special permits. Now, to understand, we have over 50 different types of special permits in our zoning bylaw. We have 3 SPGAs, we refer to them as Special Permit Granting Authority, depending on the type of special permit. There's the Select Board, the Planning Board, and the Zoning Board of Appeals. Now, the article you have before you, sections A and B, actually language that's already in the bylaw, designated as sections 1 and 2. It happens to be in the bylaw. with one exception. There is an added sentence in Section B that designates the Zoning Board of Appeals as the default special permit granting authority if there is no other special permit granted authority designated. Now, the sections 2 and 3 are the real changes in the meat of this. Of our 50-plus special permits, only 9 of them have specific decision criteria incorporated in the bylaw that's particular to that special permit. So what we're trying to do is give direction to the special permit granting authorities on the issues that they ought to be considered for any and all special permits, something that's frankly missing from our current version of the bylaw. And I think even more importantly, what we want to do is put special permit applicants and the general public on notice of the types of issues that they may have to deal with in pursuing a special permit, at the hearing for a special permit. So that's in a nutshell. The planning board, again, did hold a special hearing, I should have mentioned, on March 24th, where we voted unanimously to support this article and to recommend approval to town meeting. Thank you.
Thank you. Any further discussion or debate?
You have to have the motion.
Oh, do we need a motion for this? Yes. Second, please?
Wait a minute, I haven't moved it yet.
Yeah.
What's that?
I haven't moved it
Yeah,
yet.
she's got to read the.
Oh, I'm sorry. I am
He
sorry.
lets me do that, great, thank you.
I am sorry.
Amend Article 11, Section 97-11.c of the Town of Newbury zoning bylaw by revising the current subsection C as printed in the warrant.
There you go.
Second.
This takes a 2/3 vote. Any other discussion or debate? Okay, let's vote.
No, Jim's done.
Hello.
Oh, Jim. Jim does again? Wow, hey, Jim. It's a surprise.
First, I'd like to sing for you and put on a little dance, and then I'll say what I have to
I
say.
love it, I love it.
Thank you. I find this, and what was said earlier is item 2, the criteria, and item 3 are the heart and soul of what this is. I find this to be very restrictive for developers, not friendly to build businesses, which we've preached for years that we want to bring businesses into this community. I find the language to be ambiguous, and any developer in his right mind in reading these will say, see you later, guys, I'm leaving town. You define social, economic, community needs, what that means. You define for me the impacts, what impacts mean on adjacent properties, and what impact means on natural environment. That's wholly going to be decided by the planning boards and the select board, and if they don't want it for whatever reason, it'll be shut down. I think this is detrimental to the town. Thank you.
Any other discussion or debate? Seeing none, let's vote.
Oh, it doesn't pass.
Doesn't pass. No, it needed 2/3. Does not pass. So before I go on, I want to say that in my opening remarks, I did not miss Senator Tarr. He just came in a little while ago. Last year I missed him. This year I did not. But he is certainly an avid supporter of the town of Newbury and the Triton School District. Thank you, Senator Tarr. Article 24, to see if the town will vote to adopt, re-adopt, and accept the provisions of Section 20 of Chapter 32B of the Massachusetts General Laws as amended by Section 15 of Chapter 218 of the Acts of 2016, established an other post-employment benefits liability trust fund to authorize the Board of Selectmen and Treasurer to execute a declaration of trust creating an expendable trust for the purpose of holding monies appropriated to such fund, to designate the treasurer as the trustee of such trust, to authorize the transit of any and all monies currently held for the purpose of paying retiree health and life benefits to such trust, and to authorize the trustee to invest and reinvest the monies in such fund accordance with the prudent investor rule established under Chapter 203C of the Massachusetts General Laws, or take any other action in relation thereto. Chairman Colby.
I move that the town affirm its prior actions and adopt provisions of Section 20 of Chapter 32B of the Massachusetts General Laws as amended by Section 15 of Chapter 218 of the Acts of 2016, establishing an other post-employment benefits liability trust fund, to authorize the Board of Selectmen and Treasurer to execute a declaration of trust, creating an expendable trust for the purpose of holding monies appropriated to such fund, to designate the treasurer as the trustee of such trust, to authorize the transfer of any and all monies currently held for the purpose of paying retiree health benefits and life benefits to such trust, and to authorize the trustee to invest and reinvest the monies in such fund accordance with the prudent investor rule established under Chapter 203C of the Massachusetts General Laws.
Second.
Discussion or debate? Seeing none, let's vote. Passes. Article 25, to see if the town will vote to amend the Newbury general bylaws by adding a new Chapter 8 Council on Aging as follows.
I move that the town amend the Town of Newbury general bylaws by adding a new Chapter 8, Council on Aging, as printed in the warrant.
Second.
Discussion or debate? Seeing none, let's vote. Okay, this is great. 90 to 5, it passes. Article 26, to see if the town will vote to accept the provision of General Laws C-59, Section 5K, to establish a program to allow persons over the age of 60 to volunteer to provide services to such city or town. In exchange for such volunteer services, the city or town shall reduce the real estate tax obligations of such person over the age of 60 on her or his tax bills, and any reduction so provided shall be in addition to any exemption or abatement to which any such person is otherwise entitled. And no such person shall receive a rate of or be credited with more than the current minimum wage of the Commonwealth per hour for services provided pursuant to such reduction, nor shall the reduction of the real estate tax bill exceed $1,500 in a given tax year, or take any other action relative thereto. Selectman Walker.
With town council, can I just move that, or do you want me to read it again?
You can move that.
So moved.
Discussion or debate? Seeing none, let's vote. That's great. Thank you. Passes. Article 27. Woo. So I said we'd be out of here in an hour. I have failed dismally. Article 27. To see if the town will vote to approve the updated and amended Triton Regional School Agreement, a copy of which is on file with the Office of the Town Clerk, or to take any other action relative thereto. Selectman Doyle.
I'm going to read in his behalf.
Oh, sure. Yep, of course. Sorry, Mike.
I move that the town approve the updated and amended Triton Regional School Agreement dated April 2nd, 2020.
Second.
Discussion or debate? Seeing none. All in favor? I'm sorry, I'm I'm used to that.
Let's vote.
Oh,
Let's vote.
let's vote.
You did.
9:10.
'89-7. Thank you.
Mr. Moderator, I wish to move reconsideration of Article 10.
I'm sorry?
I wish to move reconsideration of Article 10. The intent is that since there are mechanisms still being worked on by Town Council and the Board of Selectmen, that unless we fund those possible mechanisms, that it will be impossible to give Triton the money. So I move with a request that we reconsider Article 10.
We're not going to reconsider it. We voted on it. It's over. Thank you. And
Point of order.
we can look for other ways that you might be able to accomplish that, which I think has been
Mr. Moderator,
discussed up here. So thank you.
Are you denying?
Motion to adjourn.
Have a motion to adjourn, please. I did have a motion to adjourn. Do I have a second? Let's vote.
No. Say yes. No. Ask a voice vote to adjourn.
Voice vote to adjourn. We don't need to do the buttons. Voice vote. All in favor of adjourning? Hey, opposed? No. There you go.